In September, it will the third issue. Your interview will publish in third issue, and this is a worldwide magazine. All over the world, students sent it or analysis, brief, and many things, book reviews. So it's purely international relations magazines. So we cover all international affairs and Pakistan's some internal issues also. So today we came here for discussion with you. Interview for last month we interviewed Deputy Consul General of Japan, and we published last issue. And the last issue in December we interviewed by the Ambassador of Poland, and we published in December, and it's the third. And we regularly in each issue we are trying to meet some diplomat, interview some bilateral, want to share some bilateral relations. And you know, Consul General, we are very well engaged with Russia, Russian Federation, Russian academicians, Russian diplomats, and we have a very close relation with Russian Friendship House, Natalia, and we are one department in Pakistan who studying Russia as a regional studies in Pakistan, and I am also teaching Russian regional in my department, and we are also one of the department who are recently started Russian language at our department, and we are also included in our curriculum and in the future Russia as a language. Everyone should learn language who want to learn Russian, want to teach Russian history. So I want to start first of all. I want to start from myself. We have my question about, first of all, other students will ask one by one. My question about recently, the President of Russian Federation met with Shehbaz Sharif. I just read the news in newspaper. They offered something about gas pipeline to Iran. They offered. So I want to what about the last meeting about Pakistani Prime Minister and President of Russia? Something because we don't know what's going on behind the scene. Because we just know about the research papers, when we read research papers, or some talk about some information from the newspaper, but we don't know what is going on behind the scene. So,
you know, all interesting things are always behind the scene. But what I can say about the meeting that it was very fruitful. It was in a very kind and cooperative atmosphere. So our leaders had a long conversation. And what is important for you, just to understand how it is important that on Russian team it took a lot of time. So all open parts of these meetings was demonstrated on TV, not just a short of 10 seconds that they shake hands and say hello, but it was many minutes demonstration on main news channel. So you may understand that it is very important issue. It was an important meeting. That's the first thing. There were a lot of things discussed there, and some of them were announced as about the intensifying oil that is supplied to Pakistan. So Pakistan will get more oil. So do not ask me about the conditions, about the schemes, about the instruments. So this is all under the table, but the thing which was announced, as I said, that Pakistan will get more. And it was fixed, so it was decided by our leaders. So other economic cooperation projects were on the table. So there were several schemes of economic cooperation. So these pipelines were discussed then, but still we don't know the results. But if you watch the faces of the leaders, I think the results are very positive. Because the faces were nice, they were smiling, they were not gloomy and sad, you know, so they demonstrated the efficiency of so as future diplomats and politologists and researchers, you understand what that means. So I think the cooperation has a great future, but we have several issues which must be resolved. First of all, there must be a strong mission on both sides. Russian side is ready. So Pakistan should, sorry for using this word should, but I cannot avoid it, should be ready for this cooperation. Whereas to dance tango, you need two persons. You cannot dance tango alone. Two partners should be interested in this dancing. And that's the main important thing. So all Pakistani elites, I think they are ready, but they should not be afraid to demonstrate that they are ready and they want to do this. Why I say not to be afraid? Because the Western pressure of the country is huge and very tough. And Pakistan is demonstrating very independent policy. Why I'm saying this, I can prove you easily, because I know that in the students' circles or in some researchers' circles, there are a lot of voices that Pakistan is under the strong influence, blah, 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 blah. But what happened just a couple of months ago? It was so-called peace conference in Switzerland about the Ukraine issue. And Pakistan not only didn't take part in the meeting, but what foreign ministry said, it was crystal clear that we were not going to take part in this conference because Russia was not invited. You know, it was a knife to the Western heart. And it was the furious reaction of the Western countries. But Pakistan, being an independent country, whatever some people say, we don't care what they're saying, it was a very straight and tough step against the West. In spite of all these negotiations with International Monetary Fund, with other international institutions, according to his credits, about his finances, system, all these things. Whereas I know, you may put my words to the bank, that one of the main demands is not to have relations with my country. That's, you know, a phrase they repeat every time, discussing all the issues. In the end, they say that you should not have relations with Russia. You should oppose Russia. You should isolate Russia. So Pakistan do not react. That silly, stupid, and illegal demand, and trying to resolve its issues according to the national interests, but in the sovereign way. The other thing is that we should understand, both countries, that's why I can easily use this word should, how to pay for the goods. So this is the main issue. Of course, the illegal sanctions, according to payments in dollars, are why I only say legal. You should understand that sanctions are legal only if the UN Security Council voted for them and imposed them in the country. If this is not done by the United Nations Security Council, it is illegal. It violates a lot of international agreements. And please, just this is a mantra I'm saying. There are no rules. There is no any legal system based on rules, because no one sees these rules. No one gave the right to create rules. And if you, just do one small provocation. If you are talking to the American diplomat or French or German or Japanese, please kindly request them to show you the rules. Where is it? Just say, I always say, just show me the rules. Show show me even one document about these rules. What are these rules? What it is allowed, what is not allowed, how they were adopted, how we're incorporated into the international law. We have the base of international law. So, according to the international law, these sanctions are valid, and doesn't matter if it's against Russia, or against Cuba, or against Iran, or against Palestine, whatever. This is not legal. That is why we should understand how to avoid this dollar pressure in our bilateral trade. For Americans, that's the most stupid things they can. I cannot even understand why they did this. Because if I were an American government member, or politician, or influencer, I would say, you may do whatever you want, but do not touch dollar payment system. Because this is the end of the United States. Even if you are a friend of the United States, but if you see that they robbed Iran, Afghanistan, Palestine, Libya, using this dollar second, Russia, so would I want to keep my money in dollars? No. Whereas today you are a friend, and tomorrow you are an American enemy. Today you trust the American bank, and tomorrow you are without money. Even if you are close to friends with a friend of the United States. So you will start thinking how to avoid this dollar payment system, just to guarantee your savings and to guarantee your money. And the American supremacy, the American power is based on dollar payment system. If you ruin the dollar system, you ruin the United States. That's just a crystal clear thing. Guys, this is a very crystal clear thing. And American production is going down. When we introduced the dollar payment system, it was from 30 to 40% of world gross production. Can you imagine? Just close to half of the world production. Now it is only 15%. And it is only 18 years past. They lost a lot. So that is why they have an hysterics. Because after 10 years, or 20 years, they will have 7. Then end. To understand what is world production, look at the figures of the real production and services. You know, computer games is services. It is not a real production. But if you have an economy based on these IT things, you can stay without economy very easily like that. The couple of days before the world crisis caused by these Microsoft demonstrated in the whole world, every country, that you should have your independent system of country management. And trust me, they will do this. Even their closest partners, friends, and whatever, Australia would not like and would not want the replication of this issue. They would have their own system of flight management, of running the country, of managing hospitals, banks, and whatever. One idiot demonstrated how he can rule the world. So the main issue of the main services of any country would be to protect. Why Russia was not touched by the crisis? Because we have an independent system. Who made us to make this independent system? They did. To tell you the truth, we were not thinking about it before the conflict in Ukraine. But the main task, which was announced by the president, was to make independent system. That is why Russia was killed. We were smiling. I'm sorry to say that, but we were smiling. You received what you wanted, you received what you bought before, so why not? That's your problem, guys. So, this is how they are looking at their world. And in this world, we should understand how we will cooperate with our countries. That's important. Pakistan is a very important country. This is the gate to the Middle Asia. This is the gate to these Islam countries, Turkmenistan, Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan, yes, Tajikistan. This is the gate. They do not have way to the sea. And the most important thing for any country to have the sea gate, to have the way to the sea. Without sea, you cannot be a great country, or even developed country. Don't tell me that Switzerland does not have the way to the sea, but Switzerland is not a great country. That's just a small country, very comfortable, but very expensive. That's why it is not there. With very strict rules. You know that you are not allowed to use your WC at night because the noise. Trust me, check it. That you noise you can make can disturb your next door neighbors. And if you are living in the apartments, not in your own house, you are not allowed to use your WC at night. Can you imagine? So just for me, they are idiots. I'm sorry, but for me, they are idiots. I'm a victim of guys. Whatever they can think about me. So, you know, the countries, and one of them, when you're thinking about during all these crises, when the world is in deep crisis, they're thinking about the form of cucumbers. And the issue was that if the cucumber is not that form, that shape, that color, you should demolish it, you cannot sell it. It is funny, but at the same time, how many people die from starvation? Why they cannot assist these countries, poor countries, with being in trouble now? They are thinking about form of cucumbers, and they cannot send, okay, these unformed cucumbers to these countries to save lives of people. You know, that is what when they are smiling, they are wearing good suits, they are very good in some fashion design. Think they are evil. They're people of evil. They're people of darkness. They're people who allow other children, other people to die, not sending them the food they demolish every day. So do not look at students. See in their souls what they allow to do every day. Every day they're allowing this. So we should understand how to pay each other. Yeah? What will be the scheme of payments? There are a lot of negotiations on the issue, but I will disclose it, of course, what we are discussing, not to give chance to the enemies. Not because you are enemy, but people read what you write, and they can copy some ideas. So these two things. Other thing is that some Pakistani banks are very much afraid of dealing with us. Pakistan do not support any sanctions officially. This is the tough policy of the country. But private banks, they are on this unstable position, whereas they're afraid that they won't be allowed to pay dollars if they deal. So I always say to them, so guys, there are ways out. If you want, we can explain about it. But you should demonstrate that you want to deal with us. And there are a lot of things on economic cooperation. A lot of things. We can do a lot. So,
The next one goes.
Good afternoon, sir. I am Fedorov.
assistant editor of Politico Vista magazine, and we are privileged to with you joining the session. So I would like to my fellows to ask a question. Abdul Rahman, please ask.
Sir, I am Abdul Rahman from BS Ed. My question is, what best practices can Pakistan learn from Russia's economic transformation and strategic investments? How can both countries enhance cooperation through joint ventures, student visa exchange programs, research initiatives, and cultural exchange to foster greater mutual understanding and growth?
So there are several issues in your question. So what about student cooperation? We have the number of places in universities, seats in universities, totally free of charge. So Pakistani students are invited to study in Russian universities free of charge. You should pay only for the ticket to go to Russia. So it is more than 200, 250, yes, thank you. This year we are trying to enlarge the number of students. And I see a lot of guys who studied in the Soviet Union, in Karachi, it's not previously. So we want to repeat this experience and to start once again educating Pakistani students. Do not forget that our technical universities are the best in the world. So, technical engineering, technical physics, chemistry, biology, so this is perfectly nice. Also, medical education. We have another system of medical education, but comparing with the Western countries, I prefer to have medical treatment in Russia. The organization of the treatment is the best in the world. I'm absolutely proud of that, and I can prove it to you. We have some problems in some devices, medical devices, in electronic production, but so the direction of the president was received, and they're making a lot of things in this. If you look at the hospitals, not private hospitals, but government hospitals, free, when you should not pay. In Moscow and other countries, you will be positively surprised. How they equipped, what is the scheme of medical assistance. You will never see such a scheme in European and Western countries. Can you imagine that if you dial 103 from your mobile, the medical team will reach you in 10-25 minutes. They will take you without asking about your insurance to the hospital, and not paramedics come, the doctor will come in this team. They deliver you to the hospital, and some of the conditions of the person, even if you are a foreigner, will be fixed, even if you do not have any insurance. We have private medical care, of course, we have two systems. But many people receive medical treatment free of charge. And in this medical treatment, high-end surgeries, neurosurgeries, heart surgeries, whatever, done you may not believe, you're looking at me that you don't believe that, but read the statistics, read how many surgeries free of charge for poor people would make. So, when we had a reform in the taxation system, the president said that 2% of some extra taxes will go for medical treatment for poor people. But they are not going to private hospitals, just they go to the budget, so budget. Government can organize this medical treatment. So, I strongly recommend you to study.
In this year, I want to tell you, in this year, our 6 students are going to join Russian University. It's a great news for us.
Yeah, that's great. So, what about economic experience? So, you know that our former partners, European partners, they assisted us a lot. when they decided that we will sell our motherland for shoes, ties, and suits, and perfume, they were very much surprised why we did not do this. But we enlarged the production of all these things. You know, I'm not a Western diplomat who like to lecture developing countries how you should organize your life. This is their national sport. They think that they come and say that you should live like that, you should do this, like these things, whatever. Of course, they are the bosses, we are living in the jungle, like they said. Remember this famous formula of Mr. Baran, the old strange guy, thought he's one god of the Olympus, you can manipulate and manage the world. So, jungles, where jungle should live like that. We should do all things by ourselves and exchange our goods and sell to each other goods. But the basement of Russian economy to produce everything. You know, and more they say that you cannot do something, more they're afraid that you can do this. You know, when they're criticizing this, that means that we are on the right way. So, please, you are the future of the country. In your hands, how Pakistan will, what you produce, what business you organize, how you organize the country management, the province management, the megapolis management, depends on you. So, give the way to the production. And, you know, they very, I like very much when people are very national of this. Of course, you are killing West. You are killing West. They want you to purchase jeans and to wear jeans. This is very comfortable. I do not deny it, but do it yourself. Produce them yourself. And you should pay extra for this brand name. Just imagine how much they pay for the production of the jeans and what they purchase, what they have for the brand name. I would say 80% I think you are paying for this brand name. So, and when you wear your national dress, you are giving them mindness. What, you know, what they produce? High heels, ties are very good. Trust me. But this is not the important thing in your life. Yeah, and this is not the thing you depend on. You can do it yourself. And when you are doing everything yourself, you create economic basement under your sovereignty, under your independence. And they will afraid because of that. Because more independent, more they're afraid. And their policy, especially British policy, now the Americans are copying that, that if the country is independent, everybody should be against this country. Immediately. Today you are a friend, but if you have demonstrated economic growth, the war will be against you. Of course, their policy, and I'm answering the question what to do, is based on slavery, robbery, and piracy. And nothing changed. They became rich because they robbed you. Guys, they robbed your country. And they were robbing your country for hundreds of years. That is why they are so developed. They are so rich. Trust me, when you are going to Mahendra and see what were the cities during that period of the territory of modern Pakistan, and comparing what they had in Europe that time, you understand who are the barbarians. Who were the barbarians? If they demolished everything on the territory of the former not the political one, but this Hindustan area. So, and you understand that your civilization was greater than their European. I'm not comparing with Rome, but Rome was a very small place in the Europe. Look what was happening in France, Germany, Spain, other in Britain. Who are the richest? They, because they organized slavery, piracy, and robbery. And only dozens of years ago, they didn't allow you to enter their shops, their houses, from the parade gates. They didn't allow you to be a member of clubs, to go to schools, and they were demonstrating this snobism. They didn't change. They didn't change themselves. No, they're the same. That is why they're fighting against us. But their economy is collapsing, and they need to rob something.
Yes. Thank you so much, sir, for your time. You're welcome. It's always wonderful to interact with you. My question is that when we look at the Pakistan systems like political administration or education or whatever, it's mostly based on Western system due to its colonial past. And the English language is very dominant in the country and mostly spoken by elite class. So, if we introduce any other international language like Russian language in the country, so how can Russian language prevail in this system? Or what will be the barriers that may face Russian language, or what will be the future of Russian language in the country? And additionally, what Russian language center can play a role in this regard?
Russian language center is very important. Of course, they give you opportunity to learn Russian. English language, I wouldn't say it is a problem, because now English language don't belong to Finland. This is so full of one international languages, and English language is so different from independent part of the world that sometimes when you do not understand the British guy who speaks pure English, sometimes I have difficulties with speaking with British guy because I do not understand them. To admit that. Yeah. So you should think that this is English or Russian or why it is in Pakistan. What I think, of course, different parts of Pakistan speak different languages, and now it is convenient for you to use one language and also to have international cooperation based on English. But if you go to Latin America, you won't find a guy who speaks English. In Europe, it is difficult to find a guy who speaks English. In many parts of in many parts of Africa, they speak French, and they won't understand a word. If you come to Tunis or Algeria, you won't find a guy on the immigration who speaks English. They speak French. English is in very influential language, but do not concentrate on that. Learn another languages, and that will give you opportunity to be very competitive. More languages you speak, more competitive you are in everyday routine in your job. So we're speaking English, we're speaking Russian, not a problem. Of course, in Russia we speak Russian. We are not speaking English instead of Russian in everyday life. But for us it is not a problem. But it is important to learn languages, but it is very good to know. You know, I'm too old to learn, as he knows. Let's learn languages, and for you it is pleasant when Bible speak Urdu. For us it will be very pleasant if you speak Russian when you're coming to Russia. And you see, be yourself. The most important thing, be yourself. Be proud of being Pakistan, as I'm proud to be Russian. Do not copy the establishment. be yourself, follow your traditions, your rules, everyday life. Wear your clothes. I don't deny using their devices or whatever, but do not concentrate on that. Do not think that this is a new religion to have this Apple device or whatever. I never used it in my life. I won't advertise what I'm using, but I never used it. So that will be important. And more independent means inside. More influential will be in your future. And they will respect you. Of course, they're afraid of strong people. You know, they want you to think that they are very, very mighty and very strong. Be independent. Be strong. And they will respect you. Because only in that case they will negotiate. And another question.
No. Anna.
And I'm a defective member. My question is, in terms of economic diplomacy, what potential does Russia see in expanding trade relationship with Pakistan other than energy and agriculture? And what strategies does Russia propose for expanding bilateral economic relations?
You know, these guys always want to think that Russia cannot produce anything but global goods. If you know what we're producing, you'll be positively surprised. And if you know that in some spheres we are number one in the world, you'll be also surprised. A lot of machinery devices, a lot of engineering devices can be supplied to Pakistan. The electricity plants I visited in KARACHI, these guys supply electricity, have Russian devices. And Russian engineers are working with them. They are maintaining these devices and these machines which produce electricity here in Karachi. Not American, not European, not Japanese. You receive electricity produced by Russian machines. So the Russian shipyard is one of the best because only we have icebreakers, normal icebreakers. Other countries are copying our icebreakers. Even Chinese, they're copying our scheme of making these ships. A lot of ships we are using vehicles in Russia. Of course, we have a lot of wash European and Japanese vehicles, but my president, my minister, they are using the Russian vehicles, which are we are presenting to world leaders these limousines, and they are not only limousines for the world leaders, there are several vehicles in this line. So we make a lot of things. So your business should be interested in coming to us. And we are ready for collaboration. We always say, come, see. There are a lot of exhibitions. Just see what we do. But we should come back to this page, how to pay for the goods, how to avoid banking sanctions. Banks should work on that.
My name is Taha Javed, and my question is, how does Russia view the Kashmir conflict and which side does it support, and how do Pakistan-Russia relations impact India's national interest? Russia in strong alliances with India and growing closeness with Pakistan.
So let's divide the issue.
Yes.
The question. First, read Shimla and Lahore Declaration. So this is the way how to resolve the issue. Absolutely only in peaceful manner. So we strongly oppose that third countries will be inside this process, whereas all third countries will try to influence to receive some profit from this peace process. Then the case of India and Pakistan, how to fix the issue.
Yes.
What about friendship with India and friendship with Pakistan? And why should we ask Indians about the friendship with Pakistan? And I'm sorry, why should we ask Pakistan about the relation with India? We want to have be friends and have good relations with both countries. But we will never depend on the ideas or political issues or whatever the political agenda of the country, other country, to build the relations with the other ones. And that will not only about Pakistan and India. We do not get the position of the United States to be friends with Pakistan or China. And we do not care the position of China to be friends with Vietnam or with India. You know that India and China, they are not very good neighbors. They have some quarrels. But we can cooperate in several organizations. And we are building our relations without paying attention to what they say in the other capital. So the same point is for Pakistan and India. We do not pay attention to what they are saying in the capitals. That is why the issue is very simple. If you want to be our friend, we will be your friend. If you want to be our enemy, like the request comes, so you're welcome. So,
Next.
who is
Thank you, sir. Myself is Mohammed Anis. I am a substitute of this magazine. Sir, if you allow me, I have a first question. As you told us that the downfall of America and the production of America, in this situation, what are the Russian role to play leading role in the counterbalance?
So, see, Russia always was a great country. Even in the times of difficulty, the time of collapse of the country, we stayed a great country. I was speaking to the British diplomats in the beginning of zeros, and I always said, why you misbehaving with us? Yeah, you're weak. I said, sorry, during Soviet Union, we could demolish the wall 20 times. Now we can demolish it 18 times. What is the change? Why do you think we can misbehave? They want to do, but they did not. And I will explain why. Because they didn't crush us. Because of the mistakes of the Soviet government, we collapsed. Not because of the outside pressure, not because of the actions of the Western countries. So we collapsed because of the stupid policy of Gorbachev and some mistakes made by Brezhnev and even Khrushchev. So it was the chain of mistakes, and the consequences was the collapse of Soviet Union. But they thought that they won the Cold War, and they decided that they can behave like they want and do not pay attention to the Russian interests. But they didn't pay attention not only to Russian interests. They thought they can run the whole world, that they're lords of the universe. Watch the Star Wars. Everything is said there. And of course, we were very much opposed to that. For some years, we were concentrating our forces. We made some improvements in the economic system. We tried to fix all the mistakes we made in the economy. And we didn't demonstrate that we were working. They still think that we had a lot of troubles. And now they're surprised that we have so mindful, so strong military production, they can compete with us. And what is military production? This is because now there are not swords and arrows. There is very high-end devices that are used by the military. Who can produce these things? Only developed economies. With developed engineering school, with good skilled workers, yeah, and people who can create all these things. Not only make, but create. They didn't notice that. As I said, to be independent, to be the leader, one of the leaders of the multiple world, is to be strong, economically strong, and militarily strong. So if you are strong, you'll be independent. And we are not thinking about leading the multipolar world. We always say there should be one leader, there should be monopoly. There should be the community of the countries who are living according to the international law, who are following this international law. It doesn't matter if you're small, you're medium, or you're very big, you're equal to this international law. No one is allowed to dictate other countries how to live. So, why you say that we are leading? Because we do not say you how to live. We do not say how many times you should pray during the daytime. What clothes you should wear, what songs you should sing, what food you should consume, what should be the etiquette, the relation between the man and woman. We are not going to your house. We are not going inside to pray. Yeah, we are not formulating your day order, and they are doing it. They always say, what should be the relation between the child and the parent, how you should call the parents, is mother and father to be abolished, and should be parent one and parent five. That for me, that's expressive. That's unhuman totally, because the first word in any language is mother, mom. Yeah, but isn't it Sanskrit mom?
The same thing, like
in order to well educated. So mom, and they want to break this word. I think they're devils. 10 years ago, I wouldn't say this, but they are say French people. Now I think that they're evil. They're senseless. If you want to break the mother, so what should we do with them? How can we communicate with them? They are human, totally. And we are working for world of justice, where the crystal clear idea of United Nations that all countries are equal in the international arena, and every voice of every country is important and equal, and doesn't matter if it's Vanuatu or this country, and in China or Russia is voting for some issue. They're equal. Doesn't matter how many people live in, how developed the country, does the country depend on the other countries? No. They're equal and they should fix all the international issues on the basis of equality, sovereignty, and without affecting the internal lives of the country by others. We should forget about these services for undermining the stability of other countries. That should be prohibited. Totally, they are speaking about prohibition of some weapons. And we should speak about the prohibition of undermining other countries by the political, information, and economic measures. That should be a crime in the world of the world.
Hello sir, I'm Avia.
My question for you is what role will Russia play in shaping the future of international energy markets, particularly in light of its complex relations with the European Union?
What is the European Union? What is that? People do not think that the European Union is a very strange organization. This is nothing about democracy. Who voted for these people? For these bureaucrats who are manipulating Europe? Who voted for Fedorov? How he received his position? Yes, I say they are existing somehow. But you know, they are totally Russophobia. They are not speaking about some actions of Russia if they think that they are not good. I'm not using other words, but they are fighting with Russia. With Russia, all Russian things. That's the first thing. The second thing, they are copying the ideology of Nazism. And for us it is Nazism, but for you it is racism. This is two names of one thing. I don't know why they use different words for one institution. Then for politologists are very strict. They say this is Nazism, this is racism, this is xenophobia, this is one thing. And if they say that they're exception, that means they're racist and Nazis. So you know, we are ready to cooperate with all countries, but when they change their mind, and I don't believe they change their mind, they always change their mind when they are pressured by the Russian army. When the Russian army came to Paris, we stopped this French invasion and French ideas of manipulating the world. When we went 3 times, we went to Berlin and captured Berlin. They still cannot understand that they should be okay and be normal people. They once again decided to repeat the idea. So do what we always do. If they change their minds, somehow after years we can restore the relations. But they should demonstrate, not we, they should demonstrate the strong will and wish to be normal people. Normal, I'm saying, living in accordance with the international law, in accordance with the human law. Because for me to talk with a guy who denied my mother and me being a father, you know, I won't shake his hand. I'm saying you should go to the mental doctor. You know, because we do not have any base for talk. How can I understand this guy? Not all of them are like that. Many of them, they think normal, but they're afraid even to say that they're thinking normal. Because you immediately lose your job, you immediately will be kicked out of the community. And they're so blessed in these countries that they're afraid even to think about normal things. 1984, this is about them. This is not about communism. This is about them. Reread this book. This is about them. 1984, you know this famous book. This is about Europe. This is about European nationalism. They thought it was about communism. No, this is about them. And they're like that. You know, they prohibit so many things. I give you the example of Switzerland. But I don't know. I can't understand how I would live there on this territory. That is why I'm not representing Pakistan. I deny all these proposals to go to work to group by my hope is
Yes, yes.
okay, let me do the last.
This is Kiran, and my question is, President Putin has stated that a ceasefire in Ukraine is unlikely for a peace agreement. Does Russia have any proposal for achieving a diplomatic resolution to the conflict?
Of course, yes. And there was just a couple of days before this Swiss so-called peace conference, my president made the proposals to the Ukrainian side. Yes, we were tough, but there are no way out. There is no way to resolve any other issue. Why we cease fire only after we reach the agreement? Because in the beginning of the conflict, we had negotiations, you know the story, but Boris Johnson came and denied all the ideas of peace with Russia. We were ready to sign the agreement, and the agreement was ready, it was verified by the Ukrainian side. Some signatures were on the document. We could stop this conflict in the first month of it. They denied the idea. We said that next proposal will be more tough. So we made this proposal. They denied this proposal, and we repeat this phrase. Next proposal will be more tough. We will never allow anyone to kill Russians. We will never allow any genocide of Russians. We will never allow any foreign troops on the territory of Ukraine. No nuclear missiles on the territory of Ukraine. This is not the conflict with Ukraine, this is the conflict with the West. And they want to eat Russia, you know, bite Russia, steps by steps, swallowing Ukraine, that is take part of Russia, like you think these 100 crocodiles who are eating the other enemy. So we will never allow this. We will never be tolerant to the Nazis and their Nazi state. And it is crystal clear how they marching along the streets. You know, when you're watching the documentary from the modern Ukraine and comparing with the documentary of Nazi Germany and other Nazi countries during the Second World War, this is the copy of these habits of the pictures and the same slogan. And when the American president repeated the slogan of Nazis, that Americans are exceptions, Nazis are Germany above everything. So this is the same. And he said that. You remember how they were holding the Nazi guy in the parliament who was killing Russians and killing Ukrainians, and they were holding him. So for me, Canada is a Nazi state, and they can easily repeat the practice of killing Indians who were living on this territory, sending them to reservations. What is the difference between the reservation for Indians in America and concentration camps made by Germany and British in Africa, Germany on the territory of Russia? The same thing. So we will never tolerate them. So my president made a proposal. If they accept it, they will receive this. If not, so they will receive another proposal, more tough. And remember the phrase of the president. It was said about 7 years ago already, 8 years ago. If they decide to fix the conflict on the eastern of Ukraine by war means, Ukraine will lose their sovereignty. They didn't follow this. Our proposal was peace agreement. They decided not to do this, and Merkel and Hollande admitted that this peace agreement was just to camouflage the preparation for war. They wanted war. They wanted to be our enemies. So what can we do? Okay. Yes.
Thank you very much, sir, for your time and very insightful answers to the questions of the students. Sir, I also have a question which I would like to ask that how do you see the role of China and Russia in the changing international system?
Let's speak not about the role of Russia and China, but about the role of BRICS and Shanghai Cooperation Organization, where Pakistan is involved. For me, BRICS is the new example of especially use this word, cooperation with the countries. No one is dictating other countries how to live, but we are creating this system of cooperation among the members of this organization. This is an example. And I will say that Russia has a special role. It has a special role. The countries who want to live in peace, in stable world, in the peace of justice, sovereignty, stability, will join the BRICS. And also Shanghai Cooperation Organization is very important. And this is a good sample when countries which have tough issues among them. It's not only India and Pakistan, but India and China can cooperate in one organization, can work in one organization, and try to resolve the issues in the region. And more countries will join the organization, more stability will be in the region. Without these Western guys, we can resolve all the troubles in the region. And trust me, when they will be kicked out, these guys from the process, everything will be stable very, very soon. Because they are putting fuel in any conflict. What happened to Afghanistan? 20 years they tried to torture the Afghan people, killing Afghans. What they did in Iraq, what they did in Libya, what they did in Syria. If we didn't save Syria, what would happen there? What they did in Palestine and are doing in Palestine. They say, oh, Russians are so cruel. Ladies actually once, okay, I will paraphrase this. They are like all that sort of lady who had difficult life, who is torturing morality in the school for girls. Very experienced lady like that, who is saying, oh, this moral standard life, look at their past, look at their present, why they are lecturing us, what they are doing with this people, what they are not. They can stop conflict in Palestine like that. Israel cannot fight without Western assistance. Even one day they cannot fight. Israel couldn't attack Palestine without the permission and assistance of the Western countries, and especially America. No issue. They cannot, they do not have the production to support war even 1 week. They need this ammunition. From which country they receive this ammunition? What they are doing with Yemen? Why are they killing people? Why is Israel attacking Yemen? Where is Israel and where is Yemen?
Okay, thank you so much,
Okay, thank you. We're going to have some tea and